What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's new episode, and you guys can see right here we are at the Colosseum out here in Rome. All right, we're gonna have predictions for UFC 322, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, and we're gonna do our predictions from the first fight of the night all the way to the main event. Starting off, Borshchev versus Camilo. I do think Camilo gets the win in the third round. He hasn't had a lot of experience fighting in the UFC. The only loss he's had has been his UFC debut, but I do think he gets a bounce back win and secures the victory here. All right, moving up, Susurkaev versus McConico. Susurkaev has had a lot of hype going his way. His debut performance in the UFC wasn't all that, for me at least. I felt like he was doing a little bit too much in his fight. He's leaving a little bit on the table, not focusing in, and I hope he's learned from that. I know he's mentioned that he wasn't a big fan of his last performance, and I do think that he's a huge favorite and he bounces back on this card. Next fight up, we have Angela Hill versus Fatima Kline in the strawweight division. I got Kline on this one. A win via submission. She's won 4 out of her last 5, and I do think that she continues to have that momentum. She's a heavy favorite. She's a minus 450 on this fight, so I'm gonna go with the submission for Kline here. Moving up, we have Mariscal versus Sabatini. I'm gonna go with Chipe on this one. I really like his fight style. A lot of his fights do go to decision though, so I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna play it safe. Go with a decision win for Mr. Chipe here. I know that's a home favorite, a crowd favorite for a lot of us out there. All right, now we have GM3 Gerald Meerschaert versus Kyle Daukaus. GM3 has been fighting for a long time, bro. He's 37 years old. He's 37-20 in his career. He has a lot of fights. I do think he's a little bit past his prime though, and Kyle Daukaus is gonna get a decision win. That's just my prediction. Plus, it takes a while for him to get going throughout the fights. All right, next fight up, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ethan Ewing. All right, Malcolm Wellmaker had his last fight dropped 2 days before. I do think it affects his stock a little bit just because Malcolm Wellmaker really hasn't had a real test in the division yet, but I do think Malcolm Wellmaker puts this guy's lights out cold in the first round. I just think it kind of sucks that we haven't really seen him put through the test with a big name yet. Moving up, we have Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez has been doing a lot of stuff on social media. I hope she's locked in. Blanchfield, she's a really respectable opponent. I do think that Tracy Cortez is going to be able to get a win in the third round via TKO. I'm going to be rooting for Tracy on this one. Next fight up, Roman Kopylov versus RoboCop Gregory Rodrigues. Gregory Rodrigues, crazy knockout, bro. I thought he almost killed the last dude last time he fought. I do think that Kopylov gets a bounce back, and I do think it's going to be a decision win. I feel like Gregory Rodrigues really starts off the round super hot, super strong, and he kind of winters down a little bit, but we shall see. I got Kopylov on that fight. Next fight up, we got Bo Nickal versus Rodolfo Vieira. I do think if Bo Nickal takes the fight to the ground, it's going to be very dangerous because Rodolfo Vieira is a very respectable jiu-jitsu opponent. I do think that Bo Nickal ends up getting a win via decision here. I hope he changes it up with the striking, gets a few takedowns, has that type of Marab type of performance, and I do think that Bo Nickal is going to get a win and get a W back in the column. All right, moving up, Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Dariush kind of cooked Moicano a little bit. Moicano got gassed out. Benoit Saint Denis beat Mauricio Ruffi in France. I'm gonna go Benoit Saint Denis. I think he has that KO power. Dariush has had his lights put out a few times before in his career, and I don't think that his chin is strong enough for Mr. Benoit Saint Denis. All right, now moving up. Now the fights are getting a lot better for this main card. Leon Rocky Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Leon has been struggling with the jiu-jitsu. Luckily, Carlos Prates does not use a lot of jiu-jitsu throughout his fights. Carlos Prates, nasty spinning elbow knockout. I do think that he gets the win in the first round against Leon. A lot of people are hoping Leon gets a win here. I don't think that Leon's gonna get the dub. So I got Prates. I think the Fighting Nerds are working on some things, and I feel like they're locked in. All right, moving up, we have Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Sean Brady, like I said, had a win against Leon Edwards with a mounted guillotine, and I think Sean Brady's mounted guillotine is his main weapon. I think that's what Michael Morales has to avoid throughout this fight. Even if he gets taken down, he has to make sure that he gets out of that type of position. He gets back up on the feet. I just think Michael Morales has a lot more range. He's going to be able to use his length and have that endurance to go all the way to 3 rounds, and I do think Michael Morales gets the win via decision here. All right, co-main event for the belt, Valentina Shevchenko versus Yang Weili. Weili's moving up a weight class. Shevchenko has been a dominant opponent for years. I think she's been fighting since 03. So she's had lots of experience. This is not going to be an easy fight for Weili, but I'm a huge fan of Weili. I do think that she's very well-rounded on the ground, on the feet, wrestling. Even when she went against Tatiana Suarez, a lot of people are counting Weili out. And I think that's kind of a mistake a lot of people make. They count out Weili. Do not count out Weili, man. Do not. So I'm saying it right here. Weili is going to be the champion of the flyweight women's division. All right, mark my words. Now we have the main event, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. All right, Islam's moving up a weight class. He's fishing. He's training with Aiden Ross. He's taking creatine. I just don't think that he gets the win. I got JDM on this fight, winning via TKO in the 5th round. Now, I don't think this is going to be an easy fight by any means. I think this one's going to be an absolute war. I think a lot throughout the fight, we're going to see Islam get close to a finish. I think we're going to see JDM get close to a finish. But at the end of the day, I got JDM winning in the 5th round. I do see JDM get taken down, but his scrambling is what gets him out of those dangerous positions. No one scrambles like JDM. Plus, he has that boxing that we really haven't seen in a very long time in the UFC. So I think JDM's gonna let them hands go and touch up Makhachev and end up getting a win. Let me know you guys' prediction. Thank you to you guys for watching. If you guys stayed all the way to the end of the video, we're out here in Rome. So when in Rome, we'll do our prediction video. And yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hype the video up. If you guys see the hype little thing on the bottom of your screen, if you're watching on your phone or on the TV, have that hype button, click it. It supports me, and we'll have more videos like this. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. We out. Peace.